just because we're so good and comfortable at the skill set that we've been doing for so long, it does not mean we can't get to that same level with the new. Hey guys, yes, I'm so excited you're here. Thank you for joining. This is my first video, and I wanted to have a moment with you guys that I get a little bit vulnerable because I am going through a major shift right now. I decided to leave a career behind a few months ago, and it's been quite the journey, and I feel like it's just the appropriate thing to have my first video be about, so you guys get to know me a little bit as well. My name is Laura Janella. I created this channel to be able to share experiences with you guys and hope to connect, because I find that my best inspiration comes from moments of conversation or listening to podcasts and having someone else's experience give me a little bit of light and guidance in areas of my life that I'm needing. So I kind of want to just pay that forward and have that community with you guys, and hopefully be able to connect with you and hear your stories as well. But truly, sharing and connecting is a really big passion of mine, and that is why I want to talk about that passion today, because it's something that's been calling me, and it's the biggest reason why I left accounting behind. And I hope that anybody who's watching this is either on the brink of a similar type of change in life, or is going through it already, or maybe you're thinking about it but haven't taken the leap yet. I hope this video makes you take the leap and gives you the confidence and the boost that you need to do something that you absolutely love to do and change your life in a way that will make you substantially happier. I believe that one of the hardest shifts when it comes to a career change, the hardest mental shift, is letting go of control. In your old career, you know who you are, you know your skills, you know how much you can make for them, you know the path, the different paths you could take with it. And when you come to a new career, there's this sense of, I have no idea what I'm doing. I need to navigate. I need to figure it out. And I think what's so beautiful is that it's like a rebirth, because we all have been there. Like the careers that we are so, settled in now, our old careers, like we had to start it at one point. Like we were at that point of uncertainty and unsureness of ourselves and the imposter syndrome moments. And now it's like we're doing it all over again when you go into this new career. And I think it's easy for us to forget how resilient we are, because we've done this before. It was just on a different topic. It was in a different industry. It was in a different skill set. And just because we're so good and comfortable at the skill set that we've been doing for so long, it does not mean we can't get to that same level with the new. And I'm nowhere near that. I am just starting this journey, and I am so happy to be sharing with you guys this part of my journey. First of all, I'm terrible at being vulnerable, and this makes me vulnerable, and I need to lean into that in order to be a successful creative, because if I don't show my vulnerabilities in the creative arts, then I'm just going to be showing you a facade and something I'm not. Nothing is perfect on this end of the camera. There are a lot of bumps in the roads. There's a lot of me figuring myself out. And I think we all need to do whatever it takes to get us comfortable with this new chapter, this new lack of control, this new journey of, what's going to happen? I don't know. Am I going to make enough money? Am I going to be good at it? Is it going to be terrible? I think we need to do everything we possibly can to make sure that we can withstand the storms of it, but also so that we're embracing it with our full selves. And when I say that, I mean, if you need to have a moment to realign, to rethink, to let go, to shed some old skin, and that means you going away for a little bit, for a day or two, get yourself in nature to clear your mind, to clear of all the thoughts of the shoulds and the coulds and the woulds, and really get yourself aligned with the, okay, this is the new plan, or what can I lean into? I think it's so worth it. As soon as I quit my old job, like literally, my last day was a Friday. On Monday morning, I left for a 5-day trip by myself. Thankfully, my husband was totally cool with being with the baby by himself. I went to Ibiza on a spiritual retreat that I made and built for myself. And I was seeking signs that I was on the right track. I was seeking to kind of like clear the noise so my true essence could come out. Because with this career now, this new career, this creative side of me, my passion and my true essence, I believe now that I've done all this, peeling back and layering, is truly to connect and share with people. And I know I said this at the beginning of the video, but I genuinely mean that with all of my heart. That is my soul's true essence. And having to figure out how to do that and where to go about doing that is the hard part. The knowing what I want is the easy part, and the knowing what my essence, I think it's so easy to hear your essence when you drown out the noise and you get a little bit silent. No one's going to be able to give you those answers the way you can give them to yourself. And sometimes it's you need to remove yourself from the environment you're in constantly that gives you the same thoughts and the same cycles, to kind of see things at a different lens and a different level. So I highly recommend doing that if you're in the midst of this journey as well with me. I think it can serve as a lot of clarity and just some necessary self-care time. I think if you're in a career now where you're overworked and really busy, we don't prioritize the self-care as much as we should. And if you do that, I think the clarity that comes with it might surprise you. So let me know if you end up going on a little trip yourself to get some clear-headedness, because I would love to know. I'm just going to give you a little backstory. I graduated with an accounting degree back in 2010. Yes, a long time ago. And I really sought out a degree in college that would make me money. Essentially, I come from like a lower middle class home. I'm first generation, so having a security blanket of financial income on a constant basis, being able to enjoy life, the luxuries that I wasn't able to enjoy in my childhood, that was so important to me as a kid. In 2012, I started working in Manhattan, and I worked there for about 7 or 8 years. Was bred for the hustle and bustle. I love Manhattan. I love the energy that it charges through me. It gives me so much life. And at the time, I really loved my career. I loved my job. I was climbing up the corporate ladder. I was making great money. I was going on vacations. I was making phenomenal friends in my department. Like, I'm still friends with some of the people that I was working with back then, who, even come out here to visit me in Zurich and stuff. Without having that experience in New York, I wouldn't have met my husband. So, everything happens for a reason. I was meant to be in accounting for that period of time. I was starting to feel that itch. 7 years at a company is a long time. And I wanted to bring my talents to a place where the brand really resonated with me personally. So I started looking for, other corporate accounting jobs, but in, Estee Lauders, in the LVMHs, in the Kerings. I wanted to find a space in some of these fun brands to have my accounting role in them, so I could have something to be passionate about within that industry. And as I was looking for that, my husband actually got the opportunity to come to Zurich for 9 months, and we took it. We love to travel, and we were like, okay, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I was going to quit my job anyway, so I'm going to quit. Let's go. And with my visa here, like when you first move here, typically, if you don't have an EU citizenship or a Swiss citizenship, you don't have the ability to work if you're not the working partner, right? If you're married into whoever is working, then you have 1 year where you have a visa that doesn't allow you to work, and that's what I came here on. When we got here, I was really surprised because I immediately had this sense of like an identity crisis. I did not know how to handle not having a job. I had worked since I was 16. We moved here when I was like 30 or 31. It was a really harder transition than most people would assume, because everyone who was looking at us was like, oh, you're just out there traveling, having a great time, which we were. We had a phenomenal time. However, on my personal end and professional end, it was a little bumpy. So I started a blog, and I was just sharing all travel tips, all my travel recommendations, and it was a lifestyle blog, but it was travel heavy because that's what my life was at the time. We were traveling almost every weekend. So the blog itself was so much fun to create. I had a blast with it. I loved getting the aesthetic together. I loved being able to see the output of my work and being able to connect with people who would share things about my blog topics, or say, hey, like, you know, I went to Amsterdam and I went to that restaurant, like, thank you for recommending that. Like, I loved that connection point. However, I did not take my blog as like a serious career. I am retrospectively upset with myself for not taking it more seriously and having stuck with it, because I think it could have grown into something really, really beautiful. There was some personal family stuff going on. My dad had a diagnosis that we had to, you know, be attended for and be around for, and I just didn't have the emotional space to continue with the blog, so I stopped. Shortly after that, I came across an opportunity for an accounting role that was remote. It was for a place in New York or New Jersey, like part-time, easy, flexible situation where it allowed me to continue to travel but not be on anyone's clock. At the end of 2020, my best friend here, she approached me to do a YouTube channel with her. She's like, I want to start this channel and I want you to be a part of it. I don't know to what capacity, I don't know what I want you doing, but I want you to be a part of this journey because I know your talents will be needed. And it was kind of the first time I was like, wow, someone's seeking me for these creative talents I have, right? Because I didn't really believe in these creative talents. I just thought they were kind of like a natural, everyone has them. I undervalued these skill sets completely. I just looked at them as fun and not something serious. Filming the B-roll, being able to go on site, you know, script writing and doing voiceovers. We had a blast with it, and our channel did grow. Like, we got over like 3,000 subscribers, and we probably have over like 200,000 views on our videos right now. We stopped the channel about a year ago because she had to move back to the States. But we spent a good year and a half on this channel, and it was so much fun, and it was another way for me to see this like creative skill set of mine come into play again in my life. Fast forward to the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, I had realized that my role at my accounting job was changing, and it was changing drastically. There was a lot of department changes that were happening, like we were migrating systems. They hired somebody under me, so now I had more of this managerial role, and I was not interested in a managerial role. Like, let me be straight with you. When it came to accounting in this era of my life, especially as a mom, I am not looking to climb any ladder. I'm not looking to manage people. I just want a cushy job. I want to log in and log out, and I want to collect my check, right? If later in life, which is what I love about the accounting degree in general, if later in life I want to be a CFO and I want to go do, you know, climb those ladders and do those things, I can. I just don't want to do it right now. And I liked that accounting allowed me that flexibility with being able to morph into different roles depending on how like my personal life was looking. So right now I have someone reporting to me. I am implementing new changes, and that means I'm on Eastern Standard Time hours. There's meetings I have to be attending. There's questions I have to be answering. There's things I have to be doing that would happen after my son would go to sleep, and I'd be on until midnight. And this happened for a few months, and I was just exhausted. I was irritated. And for any of you who are into human design, I am a generator. My energy type is a generator, and generators are not good when it comes to spending energy on things that don't light them up. So it was very quickly realized in the house how terribly just miserable I was with my job. It was just taking a lot more than it was giving. So I realized in January it was time to cut it off. Like, I was spent, and I realized that even if I didn't have something lined up, I wanted to quit. I didn't care. Like that's how crucial this decision was for me. I needed to just get out. I needed to be back in my own control of what I wanted to be doing and how I wanted to be making money. Some would say from the outside that it was easy, that, clearly you're unhappy, so just quit. But, when you're in the position, it's a lot harder. Like, we know this. Like, when we're the ones dealing with it, it's like, oh, but, it's a good paycheck, and oh, and it is still kind of flexible. No, like, I was making all the excuses initially, and then I just got to the point where I'm like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'm out. So it's not like it was the easiest decision for me. So just so you know that, as soon as I made the decision and said, okay, I'm done, I knew that I wanted to find a job local that I could be logged off by 5 o'clock. Like, I can be present for my son when he's back home from daycare. It's not going to take away from my personal life. I wanted a job that was truly a clock in, clock out. As soon as I started looking, I quickly started having these pings, these universal downloads, these voices in my head, if you will, intuition calling me, telling me, hey, maybe you don't want to do accounting. Like, if you're going to work 60%, like, maybe you can work 60% on something that's in a different skill set of yours. Like, I just started getting these thoughts in my head, and I'm like, what could I do outside of accounting? And the more I sat on it, the more it unraveled to being in the creative world. I was thinking about those projects that I've done before, the blogs, the YouTube, and I'm like, can I put that into something? Can I work like entry level somewhere, or on like marketing or content creation? I did not even ever think to put those projects on my CV, even when I started to think about a creative role, because I did not take those projects as seriously as I should have. Like, I didn't take those talents serious. And I think that's so sad, because I'm sure I'm like most people, where we don't realize that these things we might be naturally good at, that other people aren't naturally good at them, and we take them for granted, and we think that everyone just has this, and they don't. Like, your gifts are very special, and I think that's something, honestly, to really, really look at if you are in the position of a career change, to really look at those things that people typically compliment you on, like, oh, you're so good at this, or you're so good at that. Like, think about those things, because those are the things that people are seeing that you're good at, and are probably worthy enough for you to think twice about, and saying, hey, what can I do with that? Like, in that compliment, what could I do with that as a career? What could I do with that as like taking it more seriously, or a better hobby, or, I'll digress on that, but I think that's an important note. Okay, at this point, I had updated my CV, and I wanted to be really intentional. So I wanted to create a manifestation list for a job. And I wrote down on my list, like, I want a 60 to 80% work week. I want to be learning a new skill set that enhances any of my natural skill sets, like whether it's in content creation or audio or video, anything like that. I was just being very broad, just in the scope of, I want to cultivate and really harness a new skill set. I also wrote like what industries I wanted them to be in. I put down how much I wanted to make on a monthly basis. I put down that I wanted benefits and maternity leave and all that kind of stuff. I created this manifestation list, and I found it to be helpful to kind of just give my brain a little bit of direction, and to give myself a sense of peace that I know that I'm asking the universe for something, so hopefully someone's listening up there. In the meantime, I wanted to find purpose. So I thought, okay, how can I be creative and fine-tune these skill sets, or plunge into these skill sets? Well, I'm here. YouTube channel is one of them. I get to like video edit, I get to use audio equipment, I get to have new equipment. I'm also working on a podcast, so that's helping me script, it's helping me strategize, and I'm also working on building a website. So there's a lot of stuff that I have going on right now, but I would say that that's a really important part of this transition, is finding the things that you do like and maybe implementing them in your own way. You know, it doesn't have to be for a brand or for someone else, but you can also do it for yourself too and enjoy it on that level so you don't lose the love for it. So I'm currently still looking for a job. I am in this like kind of like parallel weird phase of I'm okay if my side projects just really take off, right? My personal projects, and the job never comes. But I'm still continuously looking for that job to be somewhere where I would see the output and be able to just like you know when you clean your whole house and you sit on your couch after and you're like looking around and you just feel this like sense of peace and amazingness. That's kind of how I feel like after I edit a video like this, or when I would post my blogs and just see it after, I would just stare at my work like, all right, yeah, I did that, that's cool. So I find that lights me up, and I'm gonna, you know, continue to be open about where these side projects bring me, but also, you know, skew down my vision on exactly what I do want out of a job, because I don't want to end up in the place that I was back in January where I'm being resentful. I want it to be intentional. If I'm not feeling it 100%, I don't want anything to do with it, and I'm okay with waiting. I think this entire process of career shifting is absolutely terrifying. If you're not scared, you're not changing. And if you're not changing, you're not living. Guys, I hope this video resonated with some of you, inspired others, made you scratch your head a little bit to say, maybe I should be doing something else, or I don't know, at least just gave you a good time. Because I know it was a little serious, but it was deep, and it's truly what I'm going through now, and I'm just so happy to share it. If there is a story that you're have been through or are going through currently that you want to share with other people in the community, like please do. It's so worth it to inspire others and to share what you've been going through, and just to make it, a little easier for others to know that they're not alone and that we're all going through changes. I hope to make this channel a place where I can share my experiences with you guys and hopefully connect with each and every one of you so we can just be in it together. I'm going to share things about being an expat in Zurich. I'm going to share things about motherhood. I'm going to share things about all my favorite skincare stuff, all my favorite woo-woo things, because a girl gets woo-woo up in here. My travels, married life, my friendships, all of it. So I hope you guys are down for the ride, and if you are, please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And yeah, until then, guys, I'll see you later. Ciao, ciao.